and I know that the county receives a lot of social service funding streams. So I'm just curious if you're satisfied with how all of that's going in this part of the county, and if you think that there's more that you'd like to see done from the county.
The Department of Social Services has not been a good partner for us in the city of Fresno. That needs to change. Frankly, the county also has a program that they support. They're not fully funding, which is a needle exchange crack pipe program that's been going on for a long time. They've now moved it into the downtown. You know that, Elliot. The mayor has opposed it. I've opposed it. Others on the council have opposed it. They say that this is something that helps people, keep them from getting disease. It's not. I've worked in drug addiction as a psychologist. When you're giving people who are drug addicts needles and crack pipes, and they give them crack pipes because they think it's a safer way to take fentanyl.
Just for the record, Gary, I voted no on that. I believe you know that. So I voted no on that vote, but the majority took the day, and so we moved that doctor and the help that he's trying to do underneath a building that belongs to Fresno County. That's happened for maybe 6 months. But for 25 years before that, that all took place in a grimy cul-de-sac by Roding Park inside the city of Fresno. It was happening when Gary served the first time he served. It was happening all of the last 8 years. He says he's going to clean it up now. Why didn't he do it then?
Land use planning is always a difficult issue, whether it's in the city or in the county, but the big thing with that is land use and saving agriculture. What's your position on that?
The county and the city have dramatically different roles when it comes to land use. Okay, the city is focused on building up residential and development for the city of Fresno, and so the county doesn't do that much in the development game, although we do zone things properly for those developers that want to develop in the county. So it's a dramatically different role. That being said, we are aggressively planning for affordable housing in Fresno County. It's a demand, it's a requirement even. We're following the law, we're making those plans, and we are developer friendly. Now that's not to say that I wish it was better. It could always room for improvement, but we are open to people like you with great ideas that want to do things in our community. We don't want to stand in your way.
The county's been in the business of leapfrog development for decades. Brighton, Crest, I can go on and on. They've not been a good collaborator again with the city. We should have sequential growth, what we used to call smart growth. So when you have leapfrog development, it's hard to provide those services. The county also needs to be much better with environmental impact reports. They're not with CMEX, which is going to have a major impact on those people out there. They're relying on a 25-year-old EIR. The city's suing over that because we believe you ought to look at the impacts that these developments are creating. Now, I believe in development. Without development, you can't grow. You have to grow to be a healthy community. But it must be smart growth, and that's what I intend to bring to the county, just as we've done at the city.
Talk a little bit about the county jail system and where you see it is today, its status as to where it is against its goal, and your plans for its future.
I visited the jail, spoke to a lot of the folks there. They need a lot of help with law enforcement, particularly correctional officers. They don't have enough correctional officers. The correctional officers are not paid well. If you've been in the jail system, that is a very, very difficult job. I would not want to be a correctional officer having to work with these very dangerous individuals. And they are way understaffed. That needs to be a focus of the budget. I hope they make it a focus of their budget. It hasn't been for quite some time.
And Gary, you don't know what you're talking about when it comes to that jail system and the employees there. Now, what happens is we train a correctional officer. The state of California moves in and says, now that you've trained them, we're willing to pay them $30,000 more a year to come work for us. What do you think that young person does? And we also lose correction officers to other agencies in the Central Valley. Now, another thing that he's wrong about is that we haven't done anything about this problem in many budget cycles. That's not true, and all you need to do is talk to the head of that association.
I'm a guy who will stand up and speak the truth. I'm going to bring that same passion to the county. They need accountability. They need transparency. Not foster kids sleeping on floors, not hiding Chinese labs for 8 months in Reedley, not supporting a needle exchange crack pipe program, making sure we have correctional officers, all the departments of social services that need to be funded, they need to have that focus. They also need to be working with the city. That hasn't been happening for a long time. And that is all going to change when I get there.
This is the type of man that I am. I can talk and listen and evaluate and make important decisions to affect the entire community. So Gary, it's not about barking at windmills. We know you're good at that. It's about accomplishing things for the benefit of our community. And I just simply have to ask this crowd today, who do you think has run better? The Fresno County Board of Supervisors? You never see our name dragged through the mud in the papers. There are mistakes made by employees. We correct them quickly.